Continues. There's a lot to discuss tonight. You can't log off your television before I'm done with the gentlemen. There are two senators and they're doing a very good job in the Senate. Just the last few days, we've seen a lot that is happening. We'll be discussing that. Danson Mungatana from Tana River, Mlamamba, is here tonight. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Ken.
And of course, Okia Mtata, Busia Senator, the serial litigator. Always, in fact, he was in court today again. There are two issues you presented in court today, okay? Yeah. Yes. What is it? Well, you don't want the IG confirmed because you think there was no public participation?
The media picked it too. I think I had 4.
Oh, you had 4? Not even the 2, okay.
There was one also on the CSS.
Yes. And affordable housing?
There was affordable housing.
Yes.
Then there was the issue of excluding the Senate from matter of security, including the appointment of the laws that are used to appoint the CS. Yeah. Okay.
So we'll try and speak about some of them, especially the ones that are fundamental and important to you. But tonight there are issues on the table that we also have to talk about. The Adani deal is still on the table. The National Assembly advised, actually it was the Senate that told CS Mbadi, why don't you just shelve this? But apart from that, there's also a censure motion that a notice was given about a day or two ago by Senator Danson Mungatana. And what is the content of this censure motion? What are you looking to achieve with this?
Well, the censure motion, you know, in a very simple way, you have something called condemnation of an action. Then you graduate that to censure. Censure motion is a strong disapproval of conduct. So in this case, we want to censure conduct and becoming of the current holder of the office of the Deputy President, for the simple reason that constitutionally you take an oath of office that says, I'm going to serve the entire country. Somewhere along the way, you decide on your own that you're not going to serve the rest of the country. You're going to champion the interest of one region. And so the rest of us, where is our Deputy President? Okay? If there's only championing for one particular region, the Mount region, so who will champion the coastal region, the sea? Or who will be championing for the desert region in the north and eastern? Or who will be championing the interests of the people in the Rift Valley and so on? So because we can't have deputy presidents everywhere, then it's good for us to bring him to order and tell him, please, can you focus on your oath of office? What you're doing is unconstitutional, and you need to get back to the work that you swore to do. And there are so many constitutional provisions that we have depended on. But the viewers, just simply, we want to get somebody back to order.
On the track, because you feel he has left the track and the train was derailed long ago. I know there's a motion of impeachment that is being prepared, that is ready for tabling, but we also understand tonight, and KTN and Standard Group is reporting that there is no one to table this before the floor of the National Assembly. So I will talk about that. I see Senator Okia laughing. I'll be asking, why is it so hard to just find someone to table this? Is it too hard? But let me bring this conversation of the censure motion. How will this play out in the Senate? Okay.
I think a censure motion was asking the guy to take a haircut. An impeachment is an execution. It's the guillotine.
Okay.
So I think the Honorable Mungatana was being very fair to try and call this guy to order. Because basically a call to order. Say, Mr. You bear the word president in your name, and you are the symbol of national unity. That's what the Constitution says. That's what the president is. So a president cannot afford to be called a villager.
And admit it publicly.
Yeah, and that's when it's a total. It's a lack of understanding of what you really are, what you represent. But maybe you did it in jest, and maybe I should invite Rigiji to Busia. They can get a feeling of how big Kenya is that he governs over, and take him to the lake. You know, you may not know that there's a big lake in Busia, Lake Victoria. So give him some fish and maybe It will help him, and I appreciate that Kenya Simrima.
But do you think Mungatana has a point?
He has a point. Censure motion is a motion that is good for state officers, where Parliament says, can we help you? Can you call you to order so that you can do your work properly? Because some of the utterances that he makes are a bit unfortunate. I attended a funeral in Kiambu, where our fellow Senator Tangwa
had lost
his brother and sister-in-law. And our many speakers were there, and it was a mixed crowd. And my brother, the vice president, came there and he addressed us in mother tongue for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, without saying a word in Kiswahili. He was the only man who never spoke any other language other than mother tongue. But this was a mixed crowd. You could understand maybe part of the speech in mother tongue for the local, and people don't understand, and throw in a few words for the rest of us.
So you left there floating?
Yeah, we just...
You were floating?
Yeah, we
you didn't understand what he said?
What was going in. And then, of course, he was not speaking like mother tongue we hear on the street, which you can pick.
So
even this, the recent trip they were doing with His Excellency down in this side of the lake, Kisumu and whatever. And then you're a deputy president, and you stand that I'm bringing you greetings from Murima. I mean, you're a deputy president.
But he comes from somewhere to be. To be fair to him, Danson, he comes from somewhere and he represents people.
No, he's not an MP.
He's not.
He's not an MCA.
Yeah, he's not a governor. President. He's not a senator.
Gentlemen,
he's a president.
I think my interest here then narrows to the timing. Is the timing the problem and not what is happening? Even the timing of bringing this censure, you could have brought it 2 weeks ago, because this train started derailing months ago. Is the timing wrong?
Now, when you come to the issue of timing, I don't know whether, even if he has committed more, in terms of impeaching Rigathi, I don't think he needs an impeachment. I think what the Honorable Senator was doing for me was the ideal.
Censure.
Censure was just good to help him do his work, because this impeachment, I don't see the thresholds in the Constitution as having been realized. But anyway, we know that an impeachment, the guilt is determined by the number of people who
it's
don't
a political
want to.
process.
It's a political process.
It's a political process. Yes.
So, but maybe in terms of timing, I would say maybe this is a Danny thing, this shift thing.
Okay.
So they're trying to divert our attention away from the real issues of the day.
Okay.
That could be a question why it's being pushed now.
I'd like to talk about that. Because there's a lot to talk about, that timing, a veil, a smokescreen and all that. But I want to understand from Danson, the timing of bringing the censure motion, don't you think also from where you sit, it's so convenient right now that he's in the headlines, hitting the headlines, that there's a lot of fight, that the president is ignoring him entirely. Then suddenly there's this censure motion. I mean, you could have brought it any other day.
No, Ken, I'm the head of the Pan-African Parliament, Kenya's Pan-African Parliament delegation, which means we have an African Parliament that sits in its sessions in South Africa 3 times in a year. And I head that delegation. We are 5 of us. So I was in South Africa for one of their sessions. So in terms of timing, I couldn't have done it during that time. But the one thing that really, let me just tell you, I was watching that interview and I am seeing over time, of course, all these public utterances are sort of like discriminating against my voters, okay? Every time, it is excluding me. When you say, this is what I will be doing, so what happens to us? So over time, and the hope was that the people who are trying to reach and talk to him, he would see the way. But then, that interview also showed that we have lost this man in terms of direction. So I told myself, I am going to land in Nairobi on Sunday. On Monday, I'm filing that motion. And that is exactly what I did. So in terms of timing, I think the time was correct. When I filed my motion, the process is that it goes to the Speaker and it has to be approved for now tabling before the House. Now it's when I was being told, oh, you know, there's an impeachment and what I said. Those are two independent processes. Yeah. For the motion, it is more of a political tool that is within the framework, the constitutional legal framework of oversight responsibilities. But for the impeachment, it's a lot more legalistic because charges will be read, and evidence must be produced. And
tie it with
yes, and then you
Article
have to
6 of the Constitution.
And then you have to hit that threshold that Honorable Senator Omutata is talking about.
Yeah.
So that one is a little more legalistic. The one of impeachment. The one of the normal motion of censure is a lot more political.
Like calling.
But the consequences of the impeachment are higher than the consequences of the motion
of censure.
Because impeachment will mean you cannot actually run again. You will be like these other governors you see who cannot now be allowed to run for office.
We'll have more time to discuss this, but I'd like to ask Okia this question as we take a break. This is a question that has been sent to our feedback. Just briefly in a minute, does being a national leader prohibit one from solving or dealing with domestic issues in one's backyard?
Well, it does not. But you see, when you define people in terms of the identity of people. Now, the question I would ask myself, when you say what Mrima, do you mean the Kikuyu people as a tribe? And if it's the Kikuyu, do we include the Kikuyu in Busia? We have a very big population of Kikuyus in Busia. Yeah. Are the Kikuyus in Busia what Mrima? About what Busia? That's the question I have.
Yeah.
So when you begin this politics of isolation, I think it's not proper to define, to try and articulate our differences, because like me, in Busia we have got very many Kikuyus, we have many Somalis. So this, I was asking myself, even today I heard somebody whom I was asking now, when you look at the Kikuyu population, just like the Luo and the Luo, these big tribes, they are all over this country. So can I talk about what Kakamega? Does the Watu Kakamega include the Luyas in Mombasa? So when we talk of Watu Mrima, what is happening with the Kikuyus in the Rift Valley? Are they Watu Mrima? And if they are Watu Mrima, then are you trying to tell them that they don't belong to the Rift Valley, they should be evicted? That they don't belong to Busia, they should be evicted? This is the kind of politics that is not good. It's dividing this country. And that's why we are condemning it. It's not solving a problem. It's creating a problem. That's why it's being condemned.
Okay, we take a break. I'm back with the gentleman at the top of the hour. But tonight we are asking you the big question, because there's 5 days to the roll.